a fairly quiet calendar today, where it picks up tomorrow because we've got the GDP and the ADP employment figures. So we were quite lucky yesterday and today for a light calendar. So hopefully you guys made some profits. The S&P rallied like crazy, saying how it probably would do, and it did. And I was actually wrong about the VIX. I didn't think that 20 would break, and we did break 20 quite convincingly. And so we're at 19 now. And the SSI, the Speculative Sentiment Index, is telling us that for every 9 person selling, there's 1 person buying. So we've got a very crowded sort of bullish sentiment because the retail crowd are so bearish. So for every 1 person buying, there's 9 people, well 9.8 people trying to sell. Because of that, the S&P is going to go up, the indices are going to rally because the retail crowd, the dumb money, are bearish. So that helps with the VIX being crushed. What you could do, you could have the VIX on your left hand side, and then you could have the S&P on your right hand side, assuming that you're trading the S&P. I was saying it was a buy, and you would have done pretty well had you bought when I suggested that you did. And it's a good idea to have the VIX and the S&P side by side. They run in opposite directions. So I'm wary about buying the S&P up here. I think I'm going to wait for it to fall before I buy it. It wouldn't be making much sense to buy it at the top. I'm going to wait for it to retrace a little bit. So just an S&P sentiment. Here we go. And so there's the buy signal here. There we get the buy signal, and that was a sell signal here, and we did drop a tiny bit. So they don't really they're not entertaining the drop at all. It's a small move. It's like a 20-point move, and then of course they short it, and then we have a big move. So the trend is definitely up. Don't fight it because that would be crazy. So you know, if things are going up, your yen pairs and your dollar crosses, they're gonna obviously be impacted by risk. So there was the buy signal here as well, 4471. So we're nearly 100 points above that. So just bear that in mind. You know, we are quite bullish on the retail sentiment, and the VIX was crushed below 20. However, I don't know if it's a good time to buy the S&P when we're up here. And another idea is to use a super trend as well. So you know, wait for this to fall, wait for it to get some support on the super trend. You probably wouldn't want to do the 1 minute time frame. I'm just like scalping the S&P, and it's been very successful. So something I would recommend that you look at if you're encountering like losses on currencies. This is a hell of a lot easier, and it's a lot more less stressful as well. So bear that in mind. This is possibly going to fall for a buy opportunity. Okay, so look for a buy op on that, and let's have a look at your FX. Let's look at gold actually. So we've got a H4 descending channel. We've got an ascending hourly channel, but a descending 15 minute. So it's a little bit mixed. The high time frame is pointing down, and the smaller time frame is pointing down, but the hourly is up. So perhaps if we break this, maybe we need to get that stop loss cluster, and then we can resume that downtrend. And below monthly pivot would be a good short, 1890. We are a sell, so perhaps a short below that would be good, because then at least have technical bias and the sentiment bias as well. So maybe 1890, and then wait for a break, perhaps a retest, and then sell the retest. So there's gold. I might get into this. I might short it below monthly pivot. I'm not sure yet. I'm still worried about buying the S&P at these elevated levels. So I'm looking for something to trade today. Right, let's have a look at your yen pairs, because they were going absolutely bonkers. See, the one above, it's not that far away. 124.35. This is for UJ. One below is 123. And we are a buy, as you'd probably guess. And where did we actually cross? There. At 114. Oh wow. That's pretty horrendous. And this is months. This is monthly pivots. So this is back in January. Wow, they got really, really destroyed on that move. That's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. So there's the 50% crossover, and so you know, if you shorted it there and you held on, you would have got blown up pretty much. But if you went long and used the indicator, you would have done okay. Yeah, it's just about there, isn't it? And we never did cross above 50%, so there would have been a great entry there at 114.30. Wow. So that's that. So let's have a look. Maybe well, we've got resistance overhead, so that could possibly be a bit of a challenge. And this is MR3, so we shouldn't really ever be trading above MR3 to this extent. We've gone like standard deviations above MR3, which is ridiculous. So I can't really recommend to sell it because of this, and they've gone long. So I mean that's a bearish indication there. So if they continue to go long, we can fall. So this dynamically is a short actually. Yeah. So where did they start going long? So those guys got pretty paid. They got paid a lot, 280 pips. Those late bulls got paid, but they were late to the party. So keep an eye on that. If they continues higher, we'll fall, and then we've got some support down at 121.18, right? And I'm not sure what to say. I think it's a little bit overextended, to be honest. AJ, and we'll look at EJ and pound yen as well. That's very similar. It look almost identical to UJ. Let's have a look. Is it the average line? Yeah, they've gone long. So those guys got paid as well. They got paid 280 pips. Those late comers to the party. Alright, so if it continues higher, we'll come down. 92 and 93.55. We've got a similar supply, just like UJ. And then pound. I'll do euro. I'll do pound. I think this is going to be very similar. Yeah. Although EJ we didn't actually exceed MR3, which is interesting. We obviously are a buy. I don't know about the sentiment on the dynamic. They went long. Pretty much these late comers to the party got paid. They got paid a lot. Yeah, wow, God. So it's saying that the sentiment is a bit skewy at the moment, I think. Okay, admittedly, we're very, very squished. So you could say this was like a liquidity dump and, you know, exhaustion. And those guys who did hold on did okay. But, yeah, it's just a bit bonkers. One above, 137.60 and 135.18. So yeah, it's, I think we've got some crypto hodl mentality. I think there's a lot of new money, some new blood have come in, young, rich retail traders, and they're not really using their risk management, and they're just simply buying or selling without stop loss. And we've got, let's say, 500,000 retail traders, 1 million retail traders doing this without any risk management, but they've got large funds. Then the sentiment is going to be a bit screwy, and this is possibly a sign that this isn't quite right. So this should have been falling as they went long, but they went long, but yeah, it went up. So I think those hodl guys, those apes in the crypto crowd, have come into FX, and they've come in and you know, they're using one of these brokers. You know, Aranda.ig, Dukascopy, Saxo Bank, FX Blue, my FX book, Forex Factory. So they could be using any one of these brokers, and of course it's going to skew things. So it could be that. It could be some kind of spillover from crypto where they've got zero risk management. So that's kind of unusual. So be careful with the yen, I think. And then pound yen, and I guess we could just close the video. Do EU maybe. And GU. Likewise, you've got a similar supply. The one above is ridiculous. there. This is silly. 175, and one below is 16110. We are a buy. Let's have a look at the average line. I assume it's done something similar. It went long. Yeah, so they got paid 370 pips. So yeah, it's a bit crazy. EU. So do GU while I'm there. GU is a sell. We have been for a while. We have been for a long time. Yeah, we've been above 50% for ages. Yeah, there we go. There's the crossover. Yeah. So we were a sell since 135, and there's the 50% cross. So hopefully that's clear. We nearly crossed below there, but there's your sell signal, because you're looking for the crossover over 50%. So you've done very well. Zoom back in. So see above is close. We nearly got it. 13105. One below is 13060, and we'll do EU. And I think you've got to be careful, because we've got end of week, end of month and quarter as well, and you've got portfolios closing in their local currencies, and we're talking like megabucks as well. So 110.45, one below is 109.40. We are a sell, sideways on the sentiment. So they went long, but then they shorted it, and then it's just gone sideways. So wrap up now. Be careful with the yen and the dollar. We are very extreme on the yen, which we can see on the bubbles. It's not a strong sell anymore. What's happened is that with the yen, it got beaten up so much there wasn't anyone else left to destroy, which you saw on the dynamic. Down here, it basically down here for the EJ, for example, it actually destroyed the retail guys, and those remain in that small minority, they held on, and then they got paid. So it's quite naughty. So dollar's possibly going to be strong buy today. If it does, it could be a bit of a wrecking ball with risks. So gonna probably just monitor, and I'm probably gonna short gold below monthly pivot, but it might not even go below monthly pivot. And don't forget, we've got new pivots soon anyway. So just trade carefully. And remember, we've got the end of month and quarter, and we've got NFP as well. So just maybe just monitor and see how you go. And also a good tip with looking at the VIX as well, because that tells you risk appetite. If it's getting crushed, there's no fear, and if there's no fear, things can rally. Alright, so have a good one, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.